Hi, it's Marvin from Brooklyn. How's it going?
Good. How you doing, Marvin?
Good. I called in a few days ago. I was in San Francisco where I received a lead about a private donor event for the Log Cabin Republicans.
Yeah,
largest...
I'm sorry, Marvin. You sound a little muffled. Can you speak closer into your phone?
Yeah. Sorry. Is
Okay.
it better?
Yeah, that's a little better.
Oh, okay. I was attending a donor event for a Log Cabin Republicans, which was the largest gathering of gay Jews that hasn't been a Broadway musical I've seen in the last 40 years, but it's beside the point. It was if I had meandered into, the Scientologist Celebrity Center. And since I'm not at liberty to say who was in attendance, let's say it was hosted by the likes of those who may host a wildly inappropriate fireside chat in the Upper West Side, if you follow my garden path here. But here's the thing. You'd think they'd be backing Trump because he loves to rewrite history with a blunt crayon. Aren't gay people great? Look at the village. Isn't it beautiful? Love the gays. Used to be local gay bars and cheap falafel and prostitutes. And now it's a Dwayne Reed on every corner and Starbucks on every corner. Isn't that great how American gays are? But they're backing Kasich. And, besides the whole, the whole onerous thing about the Log Cabin Republican, that's obvious. What I'm concerned about is, Kasich being this, this moderate, whatever the goalposts are aligned with the Republican Party, but he has the worst record of all of them in terms of his, during his tenure in Congress, as a governor, as a pundit, and so it makes me wonder, it brings a sort of ethical question in mind, which is, are we supposed to be indentured to a political party if it's not necessarily serving maybe one other single ticket vote? Because the LGBT Democrats, aren't the most, they're always having to play defense and, they're being spread thin. But I do believe that the LGBT community owes a level of, I think it's somewhat of a debt of gratitude for showing their loyalty to the LGBT, the Democratic Party. And I just don't understand why there's a growing number of log cabin types.
I have never understood log cabin Republicans. It seems to me, here's the thing. The rationale, it seems to me, for log cabin Republicans seems to me to be make more sense, I guess, today than it did a year ago, in my mind, okay, and prior. Because you could, I guess, justify to yourself, like, okay, society has moved past this issue. Bygones be bygones. And now I'm just going to support someone who's going to cut my taxes, right? But I remember talking to and I almost got thrown out of the Republican convention in 2004, and there's video of that, I think, online, by Secret Service people, because I was walking on the floor asking to talk to either a gay Republican or a log cabin Republican. That's just the wording of the sign that I had. And literally, I'm on the floor in Madison Square Garden. A guy, waves me over, and I come over and he goes, I think there's one in California. And so I go to the other side of the thing, and I talk to the guy, and I don't know if it's if this clip it was in the documentary that we had made from there. And the guy is an older gentleman. I would guess 60s, 60-year-old at the time, and he looked like a sort of Orange County type of Republican, like a guy you could imagine would be driving sort of like a big Cadillac, even back, even then.
Yeah.
And looked, and it was just an incredibly bizarre situation. You remember, 2004 was probably the height of vocal gay baiting in the Republican Party. And it seems to me, just sort of like we're using this explicitly as a as an electoral tool. I mean, maybe, you could argue during Reagan on some level, but it was, being gay was not even out enough, it seems to me, during then, so that, they even felt they had to sort of service that. And this guy almost broke down in tears. Like, I'm saying, like, how can you stay in a party? How can you support a party that literally considers you a second-class citizen? Like, how can you do that? And he's like, well, if I leave, what if next time around it's John McCain and he will promote gay rights. I mean, if I leave, who's here to change it from the inside? And I'm like, yeah, this is. He was almost in tears as we were talking about this, and it was as if, on some level, like he was having he had overcome the personal struggle of coming out in the context which, you look at this guy and you see in which the context that must have been very difficult for him. And that it's as if on some level, like he couldn't shed his former identity or something, or couldn't embrace his new identity. He need to hold on to something. And that to me sounds like that's what I think like a log cabin Republican is. It's just sort of like holding on for dear life because they need to sort of mitigate the fact that they are now out as a gay person.
Yeah, but this touches on what they were talking about yesterday too. And there was a turn of phrase that I heard, and it blew my mind because my mind didn't. I'll just say it. It said that the rainbow flag was, and I'm paraphrasing, but there's a reason why the rainbow flag attracts white light, and you can think about that figuratively. That maybe white light as an idea, we're going in the right direction, but I don't think anyone's really in that higher level of think tankery where they're looking at the pros of this. I think they're saying that white supremacy is really where it's at, and Trump is hitting on something here. But we're not going to outright say that because that's a political suicide. So we're just going to push Kasich, and Kasich, and that's I want to just bring this back to Kasich just really quickly because I just really want to just hammer home his views. Like back in '93 when he personally wrote Clinton, telling them to go slow on the gays in the military, saying that it'll turn them to mush. Mm-hmm. And do you remember all that?
Yeah, and this is a guy, the reason why Kasich works for them is that he says, like, he's willing to accept that we've moved forward. So they perceive him as a guy who's like at least is not going to try and turn the clock back, is not going to attack the court. Now, it remains to be seen if Kasich can maintain that. But, and of course, Kasich goes to gay weddings, which apparently is his claim to fame. I mean, Kasich, it doesn't, I got to say, it doesn't surprise me because I think Kasich is going to be the guy that he's trying to project a certain moderate quality because he thinks that he's going to be the guy who's going to be able to bring it together and pick up the pieces after Jeb Bush. But Marvin, can I get a jump? I appreciate the call.
But like he was on O'Reilly not too long ago saying, like, there's one thing I don't understand. I'm heterosexual, but I do not run around in the newsroom declaring my sexuality. What is this business about people feeling they must declare their sexual orientation? I feel like he's a living mockery of his own ideals. And I know that's like a general thing about Republicans, but like it's just stamped to his friggin' forehead. You know?
The last thing in the world I could ever explain to you is what goes on in the mind of a gay Republican. I really, honestly, like, it's beyond me. I mean, I could see like going like
wonder of the world.
It really is. I mean, I can see like I'm not going to advocate for Democrats because I really want my tax cuts. And I really want to subjugate other people. But to actually actively help that party that looks upon you, I mean, I remember the stories of how David Dreyer, there would be people in his own caucus who wouldn't even shake his hand because he was gay, who wouldn't even shake his hand. I mean, how demeaned, to me, it's just a psychological problem there's no other explanation. I mean, it's a psychological deficiency. I mean, I could see staying at home and saying like, I hope the Republican wins because I want my tax cuts, but to actually go out there and actively help these people many of whom would just, would literally just stand on the side of the road as you were getting beaten. It's just unbelievable to me. But I appreciate the call.
Yeah.
Thanks, Marv.
Thank you so much.
Right.
Pleasure.
I've never I've genuinely been just so flummoxed by the existence of gay Republicans. Of, people like, I can understand, like, I'm not going to say anything, but I really want my tax cuts. And as long as they keep the blacks away. But the idea of actually going out